I was standing in the bathroom while singing. How'd you like that? How you like that? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Suddenly, the light went off, making me terrified. Peter, stop it! Indeed, Peter was outside and messing with me as usual. Your voice sucks. You won't make it past the audition. I reached for the door, grabbed a bar of soap, and threw it at my mischievous brother. Hi, I'm Elisa, 17 years old. And Peter, my brother, is 2 years younger than me. He's funny and witty, so he's always adored by our parents, while I was like the shadow of my family. I wanted to show them I was amazing too. Since childhood, I've loved K-pop. Having a burning passion, I was determined to become a K-pop idol one day to amaze my family. Finally, I found a rare casting announcement for K-pop trainees for foreigners, and they asked the attendees to submit the audio of their vocals first. Although the casting location would be quite far from my city, it was such a lifetime opportunity that I decided to just go for it. But the moment Peter knew I was going to audition, he did whatever it took to bend my will. But because I strongly refused to give up, Peter had accidentally gone too far in ruining my chance to audition. Do you know that there are 3 principles to becoming a K-pop idol? First, keeping the casting invitation a secret. Second, keeping your profile clean. And third, being extra good looking. I was well aware of that, so I was always careful to keep a good image. In class, I was known as the elegant beauty for speaking so softly and gracefully. But Peter, that dumbass Peter, kept trying to drive me crazy, so I would curse him. One time, he poured glue on my hair. Another time, he tickled my armpits. Sometimes he even threw my stuff out of the house. On one occasion, he was holding the phone to film me while throwing my 500-page encyclopedia through the window. I shouted, "Peter, you're too much!" Suddenly, a loud thud came from outside, accompanied with the sound of a car siren. Both Peter and I were startled. Almost immediately, someone rang my doorbell. We ran down to open the door and saw a policeman holding my encyclopedia. We received a complaint from a lady that this book fell on her car and broke its glass. And she said it was not the first time something fell out of this house. I was so ashamed. My family had to compensate for a large amount of money in that incident. I was called a freak in my neighborhood, and it was definitely not good for my career. I was super pissed off at Peter and gave him the silent treatment after that. Peter knew he screwed up big time, so he said he would make it up to me. The next day, he brought a small homemade cake to school and waited next to my seat for me to arrive. I suspiciously looked at the cake he was holding. Are you going to put it on my face? Not a chance. Nah, I swear this is not a prank. Having said that, the boy put the cake on the table. I dubiously sat down and immediately my butt was introduced with another cake that was placed on my seat. Peter! Prepare to die, you turd! He laughed and ran for his life while taking pictures of me as I was madly chasing after him while being covered in cake. Not only that, he also leaked the song I was practicing for the audition. I had no idea why he was so determined to make my life miserable, but he has successfully made me break all 3 principles to become a K-pop idol. One day, a representative from X Entertainment came to meet me. They told me that I had qualified for casting and needed to prepare $2,500 to pay for the training fee. Hearing that, I was overjoyed. I had just enough of that in my savings.
Yes!
I quickly printed out the casting invitation and ran downstairs to show my mom. Mom, I got a casting call! Can I see? Wow, but you can't reveal the casting information, right? Shh, be quiet, Elisa. Peter anxiously stared at my invitation from afar. I really couldn't understand what he was thinking. The boy kept messing with me and I never knew what he was plotting next. The next morning when I went to school, something unexpected happened. Every friend of mine was gathering in front of my classroom with plenty of bouquets. They rushed over and screamed excitedly. Elisa, congratulations on getting into the casting round of X Entertainment. Don't forget us when you're famous. Huh? How do they know this? I've never posted anything about it on my social media. I hurriedly covered their mouths, but suddenly a bunch of strangers came from nowhere to ask for my autograph and took a selfie with me without my permission. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was the representative of X Entertainment. I trembled as I picked up the call, and true to my worries, I received shocking news. I was eliminated from the competition for breaking its rule. I dropped my phone and passed out. It must have been Peter. Besides Mom and him, no one knew about my casting invitation. Too angry at the boy's stupid actions, I jumped up in the middle of the infirmary, grabbed a pillow, and ran to find my dumbass brother. I ran to his classroom and was ready to wreak havoc. When he saw my demonic face, he was so scared that he hid behind the classroom seat. I threw the pillow directly at Peter's face and blocked his escape. Why did you do it to me? Do you hate me or are you jealous of me? I kept hitting Peter, and he crawled away in fear after receiving my destructive outburst of anger. I fell to the ground and cried. I was so angry and hurt because, more than anyone, Peter understood most that I had sacrificed so much for my passion. I practiced singing until my voice was hoarse, playing the guitar until my fingers had calluses, but then everything was for naught. I would never forgive him. After that day, I never spoke to Peter again. I broke down in my room and kept crying my eyes out. Peter tried to reach me many times but failed. I was just sick of having to deal with his stupid jokes. If only he hadn't interfered with my life. If only a miracle happened. I took my guitar and sang a sad song. You know what? Sometimes you gotta create your own miracle. A crazy idea flashed through my mind. Draining my wallet and taking all my savings, I put everything I needed in my backpack and took my guitar with me. I left a goodbye letter to my family and walked through the door that night. 2 days later, the casting took place in Wyoming, an hour flight from my city. When I arrived there, what surprised me most was that the casting place was in a moldy, abandoned basement. But you know, as long as I could become a K-pop trainee, even if I had to cast at the bottom of the sea, I would do it. I pretended to be a staff member of the company to sneak in there. That way, I easily passed the security and entered the wing of the casting room. I knew I had only one chance, so I did something extremely odd. I picked up a nearby prop, which was a Minecraft headbox, and put it onto. After the last person had finished performing and the judges were ready to leave, I decided to show up and started singing with my guitar. Baby, I'm so lonely, 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 lonely. The judges were surprised and applauded politely. Okay, you can stop. I recognize your voice. You're the girl who broke the casting rules and got eliminated. But I can see that you're extremely determined. You can pay the training fee now to continue the program. Overjoyed, I hurriedly took off the Minecraft box and poured out all the money I had left to get my last chance. I was going to give it to them when suddenly a shoe flew straight to my money and blew it away. A familiar voice rang out. Stop, sis! This company is a scam! That's Peter! Why is he here? And with Mom too? From the very beginning, I had suspected this company. I knew you would never listen to me, so I did all sorts of tricks to stop you. At that moment, the police also rushed in. Put your hands up! You're arrested for fraudulent appropriation of property! I was bewildered. It turned out that so many people and I were deceived by Axe Entertainment. Fortunately, Peter saw my goodbye letter in time and decided to chase after me with Mom. I hugged him tightly and thanked him. Although the way he protected me by messing with me was so childish and obnoxious, he meant well. I guess we should be more alert on the path of pursuing our dreams, right?
Share this podcast to all social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and so on, and you'll be given a shout out. Also drop your social media username so that we can find you. Thanks for your support. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the link in this episode description. You should also please follow or subscribe to our other podcast, My Animated Story, by clicking on this episode description. And also, kindly please rate and review this podcast. Bye.